Hi, welcome to Enter the Bunker, where we launch you into thriving. Each week we talk about a different virtue that can be used as a building brick to build your own personal bunkers. We share personal stories, as well as tips and tricks to help you thrive instead of survive. So sit down, relax, and enter the bunker.
Welcome, everybody, to Enter the Bunker, where we're talking about the how-tos of devotion.
How can devotion help you thrive? Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So we have 3 ways for devotion to help you thrive today. We'll list each one, and then we'll talk about each one. So 1, stronger relationships. 2, gain strength and inspiration. And 3, find joy and peace.
Right on.
So, strong relationships. Devotion breeds devotion. When you are devoted to another person, whether it be a partner, friend, or family, there's a very good chance that devotion will be returned to you. This builds loyalty and trust and will lead to your relationships being stronger and more fulfilling. So, when I first read this earlier, I don't know if it's just a me thing, but when I read, when you are devoted to another person, whether it be partner, friend, or family, there's a very good chance that devotion will be returned to you. I don't necessarily believe that.
Why?
What's the word when you read something and you get like, when you're devoted to another person, there's a very good chance that devotion will be returned to you. I guess what I just mean is, I guess it's a pretty good chance, but I just don't think it's going to happen all the time. And you just have to watch who you're. We'll go back to the quote from the previous episode about the wisely. Devotion. What was it? Wisely pick who you're devoted to, I guess is what I'm meaning to say.
Okay.
So yeah, like I could give all of my devotion to this one person, let's say, but they don't give it back equally. Then I need to stop and take a minute and be like, why am I so devoted to this person if they're not giving me that same devotion back?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily if this then that.
Right.
Right. So there's a chance that devotion will grow.
Right.
But it's not guaranteed, as is many things in life.
Right.
So
choose your devotion wisely.
Yeah, so you want to be wise about what you're devoted to and who you're devoted to. And of course, this comes back to what we talked about in the last episode, where we talked about being able to be wholeheartedly committed and being on your life's purpose.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, like we talked about also in the last episode, was the fact that people just aren't even awake to this sort of thing in their lives. Like they're actually pursuing other people's dreams and not actually pursuing their own dreams, right?
Yeah.
So if they're working that way, then sometimes they are misplacing their devotion in people they shouldn't be. For example, a lot of people are working at jobs and they're devoted to their jobs, and so they're devoted to their bosses who probably aren't doing. Some are, but in some cases they aren't. Yeah. And then they're taking advantage of that devotion, and they're actually not treating them very well, and they're not actually being able to actually move forward in a way that they really want to.
Right.
Because it's what their boss wants.
Yeah.
Right.
Not what they want.
Right. So it's a matter of being smart about what you're devoted to and actually being on track, on purpose with your life. And so if you are to build strong relationships, you have to have devotion of your life's purpose very clear in your own heart and what you're doing. Yeah. And then when you do that, then the relationships you build around you that go towards that purpose, you stay devoted to those.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So as long as you stay devoted to the relationships which actually move you on your life purpose, then that's when it really works. But then if it's people, or if they're people who really aren't in line with your life purpose, then what happens is they end up being either distractions or they derail you from the direction that you really want to go, right? I
was thinking drown, but you said derail. I like that too.
Yeah, it really is derailing, because you're going and then you're just taken off on the wrong track.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of just, it really does. If you build stronger relationships, and as long as you give devotion to those relationships that do matter, that's when it'll come back.
Yeah. Interesting. The next one up was gain strength and inspiration. Your devotion to a community or group will pay off in encouragement from that community. Inspiration to be better, to do better, will also be found. This encouragement, strength, and inspiration can be what you need to keep going on a particular task.
So
how do you get into depth about that?
when it comes to the gain strength, when it comes to gaining strength from community, right? And in terms of having inspiration, if you think about how you operate in a community, oftentimes it's everybody's kind of like sharing, like they're sharing what they can do, and they're sharing ideas, and they also are listening a lot, right? And it's really important that they listen because, of course, you have two ears and one mouth, and
if you're truly devoted, you're going to be listening.
Yes. And so, and it's because it's something that matters to you and you care deeply about it. So you're really into it. And when you have that, that's, what happens is you gain more insight and more strength into that community, and then you can contribute more, right? And that's when everybody's able to actually benefit from whatever you have to offer with that community. So it's really, like, to me, this is more about, like, there's one thing to have devotion to people and your personal relationships, but then there's being able to be a part of the community to gain that, and that's what this is all about. So and the inspiration, of course. So being a part of a community, like if you're around like-minded people, like seeketh like, and taketh pleasure in the company of its kind, is what happens, and then that just ends up being flame on flame, right? And then that builds into a fire. And so when you surround people like that want to be able to be in that same life track that you're on, that just helps you to be able to get there, not just faster, but more joyfully, right? It's more of a, you get more of a sense of, like, these are my peeps, sort of thing, right?
This is my place. This is where I'm supposed to be.
This is where I'm supposed to be, right? So that's what that's about. It's like you gain strength, and that's the how, like, so you want to have devotion to what matters in a community that is aligned with your life purpose.
Okay, great. I like that detail that you gave. Okay, number 3 was find joy and peace. Like strength and inspiration, knowing you aren't alone can also provide you with the ability to be positive and cheerful even during the hard times. I guess it's saying, like, if you're hitting a roadblock, or you're hitting somebody, so you're working on a team project and your partner isn't as devoted as you, instead of getting derailed, you got to find joy and peace in knowing that, okay, this might not be on the train track that it was originally going, but I'm not derailing. I'm peaceful. I'm going to keep going straight along and going towards your goal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So finding joy and peace, finding the joy and peace, is really about that devotion and being able to, again, it's talking about being able to help others.
Okay.
And so, like you said, when the tough times come, then you're able to push through it, and then being able to, again, be positive and cheerful during the hard times. That comes down to really, again, looking at the end goal. Not just the end goal, sorry. It's more about looking at, is this what's right? Is this what really matters to me, right? And if you have that, then again, all these things that could happen and all these difficulties you could have, they just shrink, right? Because everything is so small compared to what matters to you, which is so big, right? So that's what really pushes through. And then being able to share that with others is also, that comes back to you. Is a little bit of what this how-to is about, is that if you're able to help others through a difficult time, then that helps you to be able to actually get through your own things, from time to time. And so it's just, again, because you're practicing, you're actually like, there's going to be your own difficulties that you get through, but if you're able to help others through theirs, then when it comes to yours, it's like that much easier because you've practiced it.
And I feel like that can go the other way around too. So, like, I've been through something, and say, I don't know quite. So I've been through something, and now the others, or my friend, whoever is going through it, and now I have all the expertise to how to get through that. So instead of just me helping them, and then when it comes to me, knowing what to do because I've helped them, but it could be the other way around where it's happened to me, and now I know how to help them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to it, it's like you're able to approach it joyfully, right? And it's like you've got pieces because, like, you know what, I got this.
I got this.
Like that's the thing, right? So we got So we've got the whole like, these are my peeps, and
Yeah.
it's like, I got this, you know, and we now we understand this, that these are all come from devotion,
Yeah.
right? So those are the main things. These are the 3 things
Yeah.
and how to do it.
I love it. All right, so those were the 3 things to help you thrive in devotion. What were the 3? Okay, number 1 was.
Let's do that again.
Okay, you do
Because
it.
I got to look over here to see it, and I
okay, so you
can't
do the
just
first
look
part,
there,
and
right?
then I'll read them off.
Okay.
Okay.
So you do your thing.
So those were the 3 things to help us thrive in devotion. 1 was stronger relationships. 2 was gain strength and inspiration. And 3 was find joy and peace.
Peace.
That's awesome. We'll see you next week, guys. Thanks so much.
Have a great week. Stay devoted.
Thank you for listening to Enter the Bunker. Make sure to follow us on Instagram where you can share your story and also look at behind the scenes of how we make our podcast. You can watch the video version of this podcast on YouTube by simply searching Enter the Bunker. Tune in next time as we launch into thriving.